This is what you need to know now. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are remembering Lindsey Graham for his decades of service. A deadly bar fire in Bangkok kills 27 people as investigators search for answers. And Army cadets jump into action rescuing a driver from a sinking car. I'm Rhiannon Alley from ABC News. It's Monday, July 13th, and here's the big story. Tributes are pouring in after the sudden death of longtime South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham at the age of 71. The D.C. medical examiner says Graham died from an aortic dissection, a tear in the body's main artery linked to cardiovascular disease. Graham had just returned from a trip to Ukraine and celebrated his 71st birthday just days before his death. President Trump said he spoke with Graham just hours before he died, calling him like a member of the family. Lawmakers from both parties are remembering Graham as a skilled deal maker who served South Carolina in the Senate for more than 2 decades. And now a special primary will take place to fill his Senate seat. Jay O'Brien explains.
South Carolina's governor now must appoint an interim senator to fill Graham's role until the end of his term in January. But Graham was also running for re-election for a 5th term, so Republicans in his state now must have a special primary in just the next few weeks to fill his spot on the ballot.
The other big story today, a new wave of U.S. strikes on Iran overnight. U.S. officials say the attacks hit dozens of targets, including air defense systems and coastal radar sites, after more Iranian attacks on the ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, Iran claims it struck U.S. bases across the region. The extent of any damage, though, remains unclear. And despite the latest exchange of strikes, the White House says diplomatic efforts with Iran are still continuing. The escalating conflict is also hitting drivers right here at home as gas prices rose about 10 cents over the past week as oil prices climb. A dangerous heat dome is spreading across the country this week, putting more than 100 million Americans under extreme heat alerts. Records fell Sunday in Salt Lake City, which hit 109 degrees, and Billings, Montana reached 111. The dangerous heat is now pushing east, and a new heat wave is expected to begin tomorrow in cities including New York, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. A second American has tested positive for Ebola. The U.S. citizen was working with a humanitarian aid group in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Health officials say the outbreak is the fastest growing ever recorded in Central Africa, with more than 600 deaths in the Congo alone. A massive fire in Bangkok, Thailand, tore through a crowded bar, killing at least 27 people and injuring dozens of others. People ran for their lives to escape the billowing smoke and flames shooting through the door there. Tom Sufi Burridge has more.
Yeah, there is deep shock in Thailand this morning. The video of that deadly blaze showing how quickly those flames were spreading inside that bar. The fear is the death toll could continue to rise because some of the more than 60 people injured are described as being in a serious condition. Thailand's interior minister quoting musicians who escaped the fire, who said it started on stage and soon after there was a power cut and then an explosion, they said. Thai officials saying most of those killed died from smoke inhalation. Thailand's prime minister visiting the scene today, confirming an investigation is underway.
In Italy, Army cadets are being hailed as heroes after rescuing a driver from a sinking car. The car plunged into the sea during a visit to northeast Italy, and the cadets jumped into the water, pulled the driver to safety just before that car went under. And here's your daily briefing. Other big stories we're following at ABC News. New details on the death of 18-year-old Nolan Wells. His mother is asking anyone with photos or video from the day her son was at Horn Island to turn them over to Mississippi investigators and to the family's legal team. Wells' body was found in the water after a July 4th boat trip with friends. And now on an ABC News exclusive, a friend who said he was with Wells that day is speaking out. Trayston Shepard declined to speak with us on camera because of the threats he said he and his friends had received. He says the viral video being reviewed by investigators of a purported argument is his voice and not Wells. Shepard is urging people to let investigators determine what happened.
I want everybody just to relax and let everybody mourn the loss of Nolan, and let us remember him as in like the sweet guy. I think everybody needs to let the investigation continue and let the facts be shown.
The sheriff says the case remains under investigation while the medical examiner completes an autopsy. Chaos outside Jay-Z's final anniversary concert at Yankee Stadium. Hundreds of people without tickets rushed security gates, forcing officials to lock down the stadium. In a joint statement, the Yankees, Rock Nation, and Live Nation say gates were reopened with NYPD guidance to keep fans safe. The show finally began just after midnight, more than 4 hours late. And an even bigger World Cup could be on the way. FIFA's president says a proposal to expand the men's tournament from 48 to 64 teams will be discussed. If approved, the change could take effect as early as the 2030 World Cup. And finally, before you go, a standing ovation for the royal family. Prince William, his wife Kate, and their two oldest children were at Wimbledon yesterday. Among the others in the box with them, Jennifer Lopez, Dustin Hoffman, and Nicole Kidman. Princess Kate later awarded the championship trophy to Italy's Yannick Sinner to mark his 5th Grand Slam title. And that's what you need to know. For breaking news and live updates throughout the day, check out ABC News, streaming on Disney+.
New episodes daily on Disney+.